Newcastle United will play Atletico Madrid in the Seller Cup this pre-season, and reports are Newcastle are in talks with a new CEO. That's right, a replacement incoming for Darren Eales, as well as more talk on striker targets and an alternative right winger, as it's reported Mbuemo wants 250 grand a week from Manchester United. Starting to realise why maybe he wanted to make the move over there. And if you're looking for a job, Newcastle are looking for a new free kick specialist. Yes, guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Toon Tuesdays, your weekly roundup of Newcastle United news. Hope you guys are all having a great start of the week. Loads going on at the moment. And thank you for all the great support I've had on this series at the moment. And if you would like to support me that little bit further, I am doing the Great North Run in 14 weeks' time. Made the strange decision to do that. I've never done it before. I thought, you know what, I need to do it. And I'm doing it for a great cause as well, for the National Institute of the Blind. So I'll put the QR code on screen, link down in the description. If you're happy to send me a few quid and help donate to a great cause, please do. And I am taking it seriously. I ran the furthest I've ever ran yesterday. I ran 7 kilometres, which is a third of how much I need to run in 14 weeks' time. But I've downloaded all the apps, so if you're interested in watching my progress, feel free to do so. So yeah, if you want to help out, donate to a good cause, please do. And I'll be doing my best to raise the money and obviously get a good time and do everybody proud. So there you go. But in the world of Newcastle, we have confirmed our Seller Cup is back. Lifting that trophy again, hopefully this summer. But this time, we are playing Atletico Madrid. In fact, both the men and the women are playing Atletico Madrid on the 9th of August. I think they've done a good job of it this time. We've had a few different times. We've had it on a Friday, Saturday. Then we had it on like a Saturday, Sunday, where there was like 2 games on. And it was a great idea. I like the idea of having that kind of tournament, more teams involved. But I think what let it down previously was didn't really have the names to back it up. If it was a tournament with Real Madrid, Barcelona and Atletico, then I would have sat from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. watching all the games, but didn't really quite work. I think having it on one day with both the women's and the men's, getting early, women start at 1, men's are on at 4. So if you want to try and grab both games, you can, or even if you want to just try and grab the second half of the women's or some of it before you head off to the men's, I think it's a good idea. And if you are a season ticket or a member, tickets go on sale tomorrow. It is £25 for adults, £10 for concession. So 25 quid for a full day in the stadium seeing 2 games. I don't think it's that bad at all. So yeah, members and season ticket holders on sale from tomorrow, general sale on Friday. And I think there should probably be plenty of tickets come Friday if you're not a season ticket or a member. So let me know in the comments, will you be going to the Seller Cup? I think Atletico Madrid as well. That's a great pull. That will have people getting in there and hopefully a full sellout crowd, because I think the last time round, I think when they first did it, it sold out the whole thing. Last time round didn't quite have the same want for it. I think a team like Atletico, Simeone and Eddie Howe on the sideline, that's one that I'll want to get to for sure. And as I say, things are moving off the pitch as well in terms of the CEO and trying to find a replacement for Darren Eales. The man being spoke about is David Hopkinson as a potential new CEO for Newcastle. I mean, we haven't exactly been in a rush to get this sorted, have we? We know Darren Eales is leaving at the end of this season. He's now taken Paul Mitchell with him. Obviously, a lot more questions have been asked on what will happen with the Paul Mitchell situation. Could we get a new sporting director? It looks like we won't. And that Eddie Howe will continue kind of to take over that role, or certainly a large portion of that role throughout the summer. And rather than getting a sporting director, we may well look to get like a technical director. So Eddie Howe's still in charge of, I guess, the day-to-day mainstream transfers, etc. But he'll have someone else on his staff or slightly above to help out with more of the, I guess, logistics work rather than trying to take over the role. But as much as Eddie Howe doesn't seem to get on with Paul Mitchell, Darren Eales has seemingly been a pretty steady fixture, and with him leaving at the end of this season, that's certainly a role that will be filled, I would imagine. We were previously linked, I think, to the guy who was at Arsenal over a few months ago now, but now it would seem that it is David Hopkinson. Spent 23 years at Real Madrid before making his way over to the USA, working for a few different places, including Madison Square Garden. Worked there for a bit as well, so he's certainly got the resume to match. Someone who knows what's going on, as I say, arguably the, if not one of the biggest clubs in the world at Real Madrid. He's a man who Newcastle have reportedly been in talks with. It'll be interesting to see if he is announced maybe, or somebody is, at the end of June. As I say, Darren Eales going, that's a position you would think they would have something lined up pretty sharpish, but we will have to wait and see. And as I say, that's not the only position they're hiring for, because it's being posted online that Newcastle are looking for a set-piece specialist. So if you want to throw your hat in the ring for that one, get yourself involved. Obviously, this is something that's getting talked about more and more and more. I actually didn't think that Newcastle would really go down this road. As we've mentioned, Eddie Howe seemingly likes to be in charge of everything, unless it's because he thinks, you know what, that final hour of training, when I'm doing the set pieces, you go and do that with the set piece specialist. I'm going to get in the back office and try and get some of these transfers done. Maybe that's the way he's going to do it. Eddie Howe's going to take over the sporting director role, and to help with his time management, we're going to get a new specialist for free kicks. Maybe. But yeah, Arsenal have got one. What was it? Arsenal was scoring loads of, was it this season or last season when they scored loads of free kicks? Anyway, it's a new role in football. There seem to be new roles in football every 5 minutes, and this is one of them. And you know what? Why not? Newcastle jump on it. What I'd love to see Newcastle jump on as well, training ground sponsors. There's loads of stuff Newcastle are also not doing that I can't wait to hear about. And it's just kind of we're a step behind. We still haven't replaced Darren Eales. Free kick specialist, loads of teams have got them. Why have we not got it yet? We're getting there, and hopefully we'll continue to push on. So yeah, free kick specialist, let me know your thoughts on that one down below. And as I mentioned, reports coming out that Mbuemo, the man who wanted the move to Manchester United, is being offered quadruple the wages of what had been discussed with Brentford and other clubs. More and more is coming out on this one now. Reported that Newcastle went into conversation with Bryan Mbuemo with the idea of £120,000, £150,000, and that they were quite swiftly told, oh, right, because Manchester United have already started the conversation at 240, and you wonder why that move has happened. But obviously, he was never our player to start with. We're 2 days into the window. We've got plenty more to do. And a player that is being linked to Newcastle off the back of that one is Kingsley Coman. Thoughts and comments down below. I actually saw someone said Newcastle linked again with Kingsley Coman, and I was like, were we? Were we linked with him before? I found an article. It was on the mag. It was on there 10 years ago. Newcastle being linked with 18-year-old Kingsley Coman. So how fast time flies. I would say had a decent season at Bayern Munich. Obviously, they won the league this year. I don't think he really pulled up too many trees, but we know he's a good player. Downsides, 28. Is that too old for Newcastle's kind of 21 to 24? Well, even you could argue Mbuemo's too old then, couldn't you? If you were going to go down that road. But yeah, 21 to 25, maybe a few years older than Newcastle's normal range. But if you thought that Mbuemo was getting offered a lot of money at 250 grand, Kingsley Coman, 280,000 a week. Right, so we're being linked to him as well. I do not see that one coming off. So I think this will be, obviously, throughout the summer, more to talk about. Right wing's a position we need. People saying Semenyo as well as a few others. We'll have to just wait and see. But Kingsley Coman at that kind of fee is crazy. Interestingly enough, another player that has been in the headlines today is Trafford, obviously the goalkeeper that we've been linked with, but not to Newcastle, being linked to Chelsea. That's right, another player that Newcastle are linked with. Chelsea are now on the radar. I mentioned Newcastle moving slow on the CEO, moving slow on free kick specialists, moving slow on training ground sponsors. I was going to say arguably moving slow on the Mbuemo stuff, but if he's getting paid quadruple what anybody else offered, then that's a little bit of a different story. But when Trafford's included in this, a player that we've been linked with since last summer, haven't brought him over the line, first day of the window like some people had reported, and now you've got people like Chelsea sniffing around. I just really hope Newcastle can get the ball rolling. And I don't imagine it's Eddie Howe. I think it's probably just all the red tape to try and get these transfers confirmed. Hopefully, that is, well, if that is even one that we're going for, it's just worrying so far after all of the talk yesterday that we are getting that one done. But, and Craig Hope, as I say, he actually reported today that the Kingsley Coman is a no-go, but big reports from Sky Sports today, as well as a few other outlets, that Newcastle have stepped up in the bid to sign Jao Pedro. Mixed reaction on that one. So you let me know your thoughts on Jao Pedro down in the comments below. I think, and I've spoken about this, I did a podcast this evening before jumping on here. It's interesting because I think Mbuemo was that 5-star signing that everybody was excited over. I think we need that. I think the Newcastle fans need it. I think the sensible thing from Eddie Howe's point of view is to bring in 6 players, most of which, or some of them, might not be a little bit more unknown, decent prices to bulk the squad, and like Bruno took to water, Isak duck to water, like literally slightly more unknown players who have come in and have just smashed it out the park. If we could sign 5 or 6 of them at reasonable prices, isn't that not the best way to do a summer window? But I just feel because of the lack of signings over the last few years, the fans and the club we just want that big signing on the horizon. Show mean business. Show Isak we need business. Show Bruno Tonali we mean business this summer for the Champions League. And I just don't know if Jao Pedro is... It's a hard one anyway. Jao Pedro probably fits the profile of what we want in that position. We've got Alexander Isak. We're not going to smash 70 million on a backup striker. For what it's worth, I think Jao Pedro is a good player. I think he'll do good minutes for us, and he'll probably fit into the side quite well as a Isak interchange. But that's one Sky Sports are really starting to push now, that Newcastle are in for him, as well as a few others. So you have to let me know your thoughts on Pedro down in the comments below. Right, guys, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed Toon Tuesdays. As I say, if you wouldn't mind helping out, sending a few quid for my Great North Run, be sure to do so. As I say, Royal National Institute of the Blind, great cause. Very proud to be doing it for them. And as I say, I'm taking it as serious as I can. I do not plan to walk. I will be jogging or crawling across that finish line. All right, and as I say, never done the Great North Run before. Applied for it when I was like 17, didn't get in, never bothered trying again. And yeah, just thought, you know what, I need to do it. And I'm glad to be doing it for a good cause too. All right, thanks for watching. As I say, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Enjoy your evening, enjoy the week. Loads of stuff coming out from Newcastle at the minute. So it won't be long before I'm chatting to you again, I've no doubt. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.